What comes to mind when you hear the term binge eating? Maybe you think of eating a few extra cookies. That's not binging. Or maybe it's an entire cake in one sitting. That's closer to it. I want to share a story that shows what binge eating really looks like and why healing starts by understanding what's beneath the surface. So this is from my first book, Food for Thought. Several years ago, I received an email from a new patient in treatment for binge eating. Jane, not her real name, was very attractive, stylish, long blonde hair all the way down her back, tall, thin, beautiful. Despite her appearance, my initial reaction with her was to feel a little guarded and cautious. She was originally from the East Coast and had recently moved to LA to pursue an acting career. And this is what she wrote. Just checking in. I wanted to write a list of what I ate at 4 o'clock. A full-size candy bar, a gallon of ice cream, a small chocolate cake, yuck, a bowl of pasta and veggies with marinara and olive oil, a box of chocolate chip cookies, approximately 10 cookies, about 135 calories each, and about 11 Hershey bars, the small ones. Yes, I feel ill. A few weeks earlier, in her very first moments of consultation, she sat on the couch and pointed to her knee, which was scraped and raw, and it had bruised skin, and it looks painful. She said, "Look what happened." She sounded like a little girl showing her mommy a boo-boo. I looked at her scraped and bloody knee, and in that moment, I became very aware of her eyes on me. She's really staring at me, waiting for my response. And what I said was, "That looks really painful." And she smiled, and she sighed deeply, and she relaxed into the cushions. I later discovered that when she fell and hurt herself as a child, her mother would scold her. "You shouldn't have been running so fast. You should be more careful." And when she was bullied at school, her mother asked what she did to provoke the bullies. So Jane's physical and emotional pain was usually met with dismissal, along with the added insult of being perceived as responsible for her injuries or mistreatment. By showing me her skinned knee, Jane was investigating, was I gonna show up for her the way her mother did? Or was she gonna get a different reaction? Was she going to have a new experience with me? And she was also showing how bruised and raw she felt, how emotionally battered and painful it was to be her. Unlike many people who struggle with eating problems, Jane's primary relationship was to her body instead of other people. As a child, she suffered ongoing verbal abuse from her mother, no surprise. And as she grew up, she began enacting the abuse on her body, which basically functioned as her primary self. And she had identified with the hostility, indifference, and contempt with which she was treated as a child. And she related to both her physical and emotional needs with equal hostility. So she binged on enormous quantities of food, and notably, it was the kind of food that she hated, but her mother loved. And she once told me she would only stop binging after she gained 135 pounds. As you may be able to guess, that was the exact weight of her mother and the calorie count of the cookies that she ate, 135 calories. So I explained to her that what was going on with food probably seemed like, but it was not. It was actually a symptom of deeper hidden problems. So binging expressed but also hid her conflicts about her relationship to herself, her lovability, her relationship with her mother. So our work and the work that I do as a psychoanalyst specializing in eating disorders is to identify what's hidden and bring it into conscious awareness and then work through it. So a binge looks big, but it is big, but it also is telling us something. When we really look at what it is telling us, when we become detectives of the mind and figure out, what is that binge saying? What is it telling us about ourselves, our world, our relationship? Then we can do the deep work of getting to those roots of why we're binging instead of focusing on what we're eating and create change. And by the way, when Jane did that, she stopped binging and she's living a happier life. If you're tired of struggling, the Binge Cure can help you understand what's really going on and how to heal. Start your journey today, available on Amazon.